Well, look, if it were easy, it would have been done by now. And I think we're making progress. I think having a roadmap back that the CDC put out is a good thing. Look, it's not a matter of whether kids should go back to school. It's a matter of how. And giving people the guidance. I talked to a governor this morning, I should say yesterday morning. Time is just a weird thing. But around what are the things that their school can be doing? And what was expressed in the call was, he said, look, I know it's not going to be 100% safe, but give me more measures and I can send more people back. And yes, there's emotions about this. And yes, there is, we're just getting new data. But being able to say, look, we can do the more of these things we can do, having kids wear masks and all of the things that were in the CDC guidelines means we can bring kids back. And that's something that we have to stay committed to. And we are. But it's not whether, it's how. Many kids have been out of school for more than a year, and there have been no guidance to schools, relatively speaking, until last week on what they can do to open up. So hopefully we'll now begin to push that process.
I wanted you to hear that whole thing because that's Biden COVID advisor Andy Slavitt, and he's a blathering moron. This guy's a moron, okay? He ignores all the things that we've learned, everything we've seen. This whole, it's so complicated to send kids back to school. No, that's because they've created an artificial perception of control and an artificial promise of safety. It's not hard. You want to send kids back to school? Say, hey, everybody, kids are going back to school. End of story. Open up. Let's go. That's it. And then if there are any problems, if you've got people who are teachers who are older or comorbidities or whatever, they take it up with their school district, and there should be accommodations made so that they can either stay home till they're vaccinated, which some of them are already vaccinated. Understand, there are teachers who are vaccinated who still don't want to go into the classroom. Still too dangerous. Look, this is the nation has embraced a cowardice in day-to-day life right now, unfortunately. Far too many people are just, the media and social media and all these, they just live in constant fear. Well, that's because there are people who want to control them, and controlling a frightened population is much easier. It's also because the people in charge won't admit that they've been wrong, that they don't really know what they're doing. They've given terrible, not just advice, they've made horrible decisions for all the rest of us. If it were easy, it would have been done by now, he says on schools, Andy Slavitt. And this guy, I see his stuff on Twitter. He's been a jackass who's wrong about COVID all along. All along. His predictions are awful. His assessments are terrible. That's who this guy is. And yet he's telling us it would have already been done. It has been done. There are private and parochial schools across the country open, and Florida is open. Every kid in Florida who wants to be in in-person instruction is able to under the state laws right now, and has been able to do that all along. So someone explained it. How is this so difficult? No, they're making it so difficult. They're making it so complicated. You should really see, you should ask this guy, all you have to know is when you line up California and Florida right now, this is a huge problem for the lockdown libs who have been so smug. And I'm sorry, I do take this personally because they've ruined lives here in New York. They've made us all just tremendously depressed and anxious. And they've told us it's all for our safety. It had to be this bad. They had to shut down restaurants. And if you question it, why are you trying to kill people? They got all in your face and crazy. They were wrong. A bunch of hysterical nincompoop. All freaking out all the time. Where's your fourth mask? Quadruple mask? And now when you see what happened in Florida, you see what happened in California, an excellent apples-to-apples comparison. Nobody can avoid this anymore. So now the lib media is looking for, okay, what are our talking points on this? Come on, Biden experts. What do we say now? Because people who aren't complete morons can understand that if Florida's a little bit better than California in terms of COVID situation and has been open this whole time, what the heck was the benefit of locking down California? Someone explain that to me. I can tell you who's not going to explain it. Biden COVID advisor Andy Slavitt. Once again, play 12.
Contrast states like Florida and California. California basically in lockdown, and their numbers aren't that different from Florida.
Well, good morning, Stephanie. Look, there's so much of this virus that we think we understand, that we think we can predict, that's just a little bit beyond our explanation. What we do know is that the more careful people are, the more they mask and social distance, and the quicker we vaccinate, the quicker it goes away and the less it spreads. But we have got to get better visibility into variants. We don't know what role they play, large events, etc. But, this is, as we all have learned by this time, this is a virus that continues to surprise us. It's very hard to predict. And, all around the country, we've got to continue to do a better job. And I think we are, but we're not done yet.
Just more blather. More blather. Nothing from this guy. Did you hear an answer in there? What we know is the stuff we've been saying all along is true. Well, hold on a second. If what you've been saying all along is true, what about this huge real-life case study of California versus Florida? And what Stephanie Rule said isn't even really correct. Florida's got better results. It's not that the results are close. Like, that's yes, accurate, but the more important assessment, the more important takeaway is, no. Florida's actually done better than California while being open the whole time. So if all these things we're told to do, if all the mask, social distance, everything, this is really going to flatten the curve. It's really going to, we need all these government mandates. We need all this propaganda all the time. Do this, do this, do this. We need social media companies to prevent open discussion. The social media companies are disgusting with the censorship they're engaged in. Awful. The wokeness, the woke morons, these people that go work at these places now, work in, government relations, or they work in, media relations or marketing or PR or whatever. They don't know. And by the way, they don't know anything about technology or anything else. They just go work in these corporations, right? They didn't build these things. And they're all about the wokeness. And they shut down necessary public debate on a policy issue because they wanted to believe they were right. Well, they were wrong. They were wrong. The people that said you couldn't talk about mask mandates, you couldn't question them, you couldn't talk about lockdowns, you couldn't say they didn't work, they're wrong. And they used brute force of censorship to try to convince people otherwise. They tried to shut down this discussion. They were a part of a massive lie here. And this, remember, I'm not just having some random person that I'm playing you the answers from here. This is Biden COVID advisor Andy Slavitt. This is supposed to be the top expert on this. This guy knows all the facts, all the stuff. You heard him asked about California and Florida. It's really a lot of stuff, and we don't know everything, but we know that everything we tell you is right. That was his answer. Wrong. We can all see it. I'm not letting this go. This is important. This is a reminder about the need to defend your freedom. This is important as a reminder about the need to hold back government overreach. There's a lot of layers here. There's a lot of stuff at work. And we shouldn't just pretend like, okay, we're going to get past this pandemic soon. They're going to do this again. They want to do this again. They loved the control. They were drunk with the power. Look at Cuomo. Look at Newsom. Look at Whitmer. You think they're just going to say, oh, yeah, we don't ever want to be in a position where we get to determine whose business survives and thrives and whose business gets shut down as long as we say so. You don't think they like that power? These climate change lunatics? You don't think they want to use that ability for something else? And all you really have to know about this guy, Slavitt, all you have to know is that he's now, this for me is the intelligence test. The people who are suddenly double maskers. Let me be clear. If you were double masking if you're a public health expert or somebody who works and by the way, it's totally different people in a hospital setting who are dealing with sick patients, whatever, additions, whatever things they want to do. I of course you can understand that, right? Because they're clearly being exposed to virus all the time, but in a setting where they know they're being exposed. So, of course, they're going to take additional precautions. This is also why they have those like PAPR hoods and all these things. This is why they have much more than just a cloth mask in a lot of circumstances dealing with COVID patients, because they understand what the risks are. But I'm talking about for everyday people who are supposed to be experts but aren't actually treating COVID patients. If they haven't been wearing two masks all along, I just want to know, why didn't they believe in the science 9 months ago, 6 months ago, 3 weeks ago? Why haven't they been wearing 2 masks all along? Now suddenly they've discovered that this is more effective? Well, all you have to know about somebody is, are they suddenly a double masker? And if the answer is yes, they are a sheep. They're a person that cannot think for themselves. Now, I'm not talking about people that are made to do this, because guess what? That's coming your way too. Already, you have a federal courthouse now in New York where the rules are now, we want you to double mask. You're going to see more of it. I told you. It starts out with a, hey, this is more effective. And then it's, hey, maybe do this. And then it's do this or else. Give it time. You'll probably have double masking on airplanes. Oh, yeah. Double mask on that airplane. Not enough to have a scarf or, one of those gaiters or whatever. No. You got to have the N95 and a cloth mask, all this stuff. Here's COVID advisor Slavitt. Loves the way those double masks feel. Play 11.
Should we be wearing regular masks, 2 masks, N95 mask? What's the best recommendation at this point?
Well, so if you're not wearing a mask at all, wearing a mask over the nose and mouth, well-fitting, bingo, that is most important thing. I wear a surgical mask with a cloth mask over it, and I do that because the surgical mask is good, but it doesn't fit as snugly as when I put a second mask over it. I think we're learning that the better the mask, the better. Not all of us can wear N95s. We need those for healthcare workers, but if you have those are the safest. Otherwise, I think what I'm doing feels very effective. You can tell when your mask is snug, and if it's not snug, and if air's getting out and air's getting in, then it's not doing its job.
I told you how many months ago they're going to claim after the second wave rips through the whole country and we don't stop it, we don't even slow it, they're going to claim that we didn't mask well enough. That's going to be their answer. Because I knew. And here we are, exactly as I said. So why is that? Because it's about understanding the mentality of the petty authoritarian. It has nothing to do with science or medicine or some fancy degree from an Ivy League university in microbiology, which a lot of these people don't even have anyway. It has nothing to do with that. It's about understanding the mentality, looking at results. It's about logic and drawing truthful conclusions based on what people have told you and what has happened. If you can do that, you know what these lockdown clowns are going to say next, as I have. And Slavitt is just another example of it. Oh, yeah, I can't explain to you why California is worse off than Florida, even with the lockdowns. I'm going to tell you that we can't open schools. It's too complicated, even though schools are open. And, oh, yeah, now double masking is definitely the way to go, suddenly, in the middle of February, 12 months into this pandemic. Sure. Hey, Team Buck, thank you so much for watching The First on YouTube. If you like this video, please click that little thumbs up button so then it will log as liked. And also, if you want to see more great content from The First, please click subscribe.